Channel is gonna be really lit today, so let's go ahead and hop into the first thing, which is the algorithm. Right now, this is the credit score algorithm, and essentially this is your roadmap to getting you to an 850. Without this, it'll be kind of a little bit more difficult to get there. So as you can see, we have out of 100, it breaks down the 100% into different categories. So we have your payment history, amounts owed, credit history, credit mix, and new credit. And we're going to be touching on each one of those so you can have a better understanding of, how this reflects you getting a 850 credit score. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, so the first one is payment history. All right, pretty much payment history is pretty much never having missed a payment on your account. Have ever had an account a loan go into to collections, ever it being charged off, bad payment history. This is what counts for the most important thing of your credit is your payment history. As you can see, it counts for 35%, which is pretty big chunk of it. So making sure that you don't miss those payments. So that's going to be the biggest factor. So remember, don't ever miss payments or pretty much let them go to collection, because then you're really screwing yourself when it comes to getting a 850 credit score. So let's go ahead and hop on to the next one. The next one is amounts owed. As you can see at the top here, this is the second strongest factor. It counts for 30%, so really close to the 35. And pretty much with the amount owed, pretty much there's multiple ways of how this is calculated. So if you look on here, I went ahead and wrote down the amounts owed on all accounts. So pretty much is, so however many loans you have have open currently that you're paying on, that counts for amounts owed. The next one is how many accounts have balances. So, do you have a personal loan and an auto loan and there's still a balance on it that you owe? Maybe you have a couple credit cards. That also accounts to accounts. What's the difference between all accounts versus many accounts is that also with many accounts, you're not always gonna have a balance reporting. So maybe you paid off your personal loan and auto loan, and now it's just your credit card. So you see how those two differ, just in case if it was maybe confusing. The next one, as you can see over here, the amount owed on different types of accounts. So this is referring to more of your revolving versus installment. So your credit cards, lines of credit, store credit cards, those are revolving accounts. Those will always remain open until either you or the creditor, the person that gave you the line of credit, closes out your account. And then you have installment loans like your auto loans, mortgage, RVs, motorcycles, you name it. That's pretty much. So it looks at how much you owe in each category, and that's what goes into the amounts owed. And the last one is your credit utilization. If you have not seen if you don't know how to calculate your credit utilization, between like here somewhere, there'll be a video for you to hit next after watching this one entirely, about how to calculate your credit utilization. But just a quick rundown, your credit utilization is your credit limit divided by 30%. So actually no, I take that back.
Stupid.
They're not.
Your credit utilization, how do you figure it out, is your credit limit of all your credit cards divided by your credit balance. That's how you figure that out. You never want to be over 30%. So here's an example. So let's see if you have maybe 5 credit cards or 1 credit card that you have $1,000. They all accumulate to 1,000. The credit bureau says that you can't exceed more than 30% before it starts affecting your credit. So if you do 1,000 times 30%, is going to be 300. So that means out of, just the one credit card, or maybe the several credit cards you have that equal up to 1,000, you can't have more than $300 already spent in between one card or several of those cards. So that's pretty much what also goes into your credit. So, and that one is the one that we see the most. Whenever it says credit usage, like on Experian or Credit Karma or wherever you're checking, that is going directly into the amounts owed, and why you see that your credit score takes a drop when your utilization is really high. If you guys have any questions, remember, comment section is always there below for you guys. So, and I can go ahead and clear anything up, or if I need to rephrase anything, make sure to hit like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that ring notification to keep up with my videos. The next one is your credit history. Your credit history is pretty much the age of how long you've had loans. So in order to get to an 850, you have to let accounts be on your credit for years and years, which is really important. And this is actually one of the things that people don't seem to understand when it comes to getting an 850 credit score. You're not going to be able to get a 850 credit score, or even into the 800 credit score, within 1 year. This is going to take years, and you're going to be seeing at this credit report of why that happens. So yeah, so your credit history is how long pretty much you've had your loans open and reporting on your credit, and that counts for 15%, the third most important factor of your credit. The next one is going to be your credit mix. So that means you having revolving and an installment loan. Like, you don't need so many loans to be able to get to 850. Honestly, the max that you need is just two. Honestly, I would say a revolving. So that can be, a revolving falls under as a credit card, a credit card of any kind. A store credit card falls into that. A line of credit also falls into that. A home equity line also falls into that, but that's more of a hybrid because it's backed by a home, which can also make it an installment. So yes, so those are considered revolving. An installment would be a mortgage or home loan, auto loan, motorcycles, RV, jet skis, airplanes, cash used as cash and savings that is used as collateral for an installment loan. That also is, those are installments. You just need one out of both those categories that I went ahead and mentioned in order for you to build to a credit score. And and I was like, you're gonna see, I was like, you're definitely gonna see. So that's pretty much what credit mix is. It's just having, being able to handle different types of loans. That also goes into your credit, which counts for 10%, as you can see. And let's go ahead and hit the last one, which is, don't know why I put credit inquiries, but it is new credit, which your inquiries do affect when it comes to your you getting new credit. So essentially making sure that you're not opening up a lot of new accounts that will go ahead and take a tumble just because you have a lot of credit inquiries. So just opening up a lot of new loans. So essentially, there you have it. Pretty simple. Like, this is really your roadmap. You can just Google this. Just put Experian FICO Score 8 algorithm, or also take a screenshot from here in order for you to see the algorithm. But this is pretty much your roadmap. This is what you're gonna need in order to get you to an 850. Okay, so a couple of do's and don'ts I went ahead and did for you guys. So if you are, if you're working on the path to 850, these are the rules. These are more of indirect, of outside of what I already talked about from the credit algorithm. So just so you know, for you to be aware. All right, so the first one we got, do's. So keep your credit utilization under 10%. Like I told you, you can't exceed 30, but to optimize, if it can be under 10%, even better. So out of 1,000, 10% of that would be 100. So yes. Another one is use only up to 25% of your income or whatever your budget. So whatever your finances are for your debts. When it comes to this, you don't want to be over obligated on your debts just to get an 850 credit score. You don't need to do all that just to be able to do that. So that's very important. Keep your credit cards open. Do not close out your credit cards, because your third most important thing is your credit history, your credit age, how long you've had accounts open. Auto loans, RVs, those will come and go because you'll sell them or maybe you'll pay them off. A mortgage, obviously, they'll stay there for 30 years, so they ain't gonna go nowhere. So, but if you don't have a mortgage and you have like an auto loan, eventually it'll fall off. Maybe you have a loan for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever it is. Eventually it'll fall off. But with credit cards, they're there for forever until you decide that you want to close them or the lender decides to close them for whatever reason. The next one is have money saved up. Within this process, like I told you, it takes years to build credit. There is going to happen something like it's happening now. The economy is bad, and essentially having money saved up in case you lose your job or maybe you get hurt, to be able to help you continue paying for those loans, because that's going to be very important, because we know life happens to everybody. So making sure you have money saved up. And then this one right here, the last one, monitor your credit, which is very important. I was like, how are you going to know you're getting to 850? By keeping track of it. So making sure where it's at, where you're at this moment, what went wrong, and maybe if there's some fraud going on, some fraud happening, you're also able to be aware of that. A couple of don'ts. I kind of lumped this a little bit into together. So missed payments, have collections, and file for bankruptcies. That is a huge no-no when it comes to getting an 850. If you want to see your credit score drop so fast, it's going to be definitely due to one of those. How I talked about before, opening multiple loans, definitely a no-no. Like I said, I was like, if you do want to have some, I would maybe say max 3 or 4 accounts. But at least having one from each of those categories I mentioned of revolving or installment, and then not being a co-signer for other people. That is very huge. Do not co-sign for other people. If you sign filling out that essentially you are obligated to this loan, whatever that person does is gonna also affect you. So make sure that you don't sign up for other people's loans. Is gonna be a huge factor, because that can either make or break your loan if you don't understand that person's finances, or maybe something happens in their life. So essentially, there you have it. There you have it. How to, your roadmap. The first part finally done, how to get there. If you're still in this video and you haven't like the damn video, stop playing with me. I'm out here giving you some valuable information. And subscribe. Remember, subscribe and hit the ring notification. Okay, let's go ahead and now hop into the next part of the video, which is going to be looking at a person that has an 850 credit score, so you can see what they did in order to get themselves to that 850 credit score, because again, it's not that easy to be able to just do that. So